So my research falls into cultural rhetorics. So it studies specifically the way Asian and Asian Americans practice their language and identity, and how that is negotiated when they enter U.S. education. And then the second part of it is I also look at how they use alternate literacies outside of educational spaces to create communities of their own and to self-identify and find their own place in society, and how that could be brought into the classroom for more inclusive pedagogies. Because right now I am revising my dissertation draft, so the hope is that it'll reach university students across the board. Right now, the people I've interviewed, I followed them for 3-4 years now, and some of them I've spoken to, and they reflect that they've realized a lot of the components of their history or their family's history that might have shaped who they are, the way they think, the way they have adjusted to American culture. So I think about that. There's also the locality of Utah itself, and I think a lot of students have realized the role of locality, not just their being Chinese or being American, but specific elements of where they are in shaping who they are. Ultimately, I hope that this work can extend not just to Asian and Asian Americans, but to different marginalized students, and helping them recognize the legitimacy of their alternate literacies, and to recognize that it shouldn't take a backseat to higher education instruction, and that standard English is not the only English, and it doesn't define your worth as a student or a human being. I think more and more there's a recognition that our universities are diversifying. I feel like they've always been diversifying, but on a more practical level, I feel like if we are to effectively communicate internationally, beyond academia, we need to understand how other populations communicate. And with that, we also need to understand how they practice their identities. We need to understand their cultures, and decenter the idea that we are in the middle of everything. And I think that there is a tendency for, I think, American higher education to possess that mentality. But I think the more we realize that more students or most of the population in the world are multilingual and do not speak English as a first language, the more we realize that, the more we realize we need to learn more about other people as well.